All right, let's talk about a simple story today, but it's got this incredibly powerful lesson, especially for our busy modern lives. It's a parable that might just hold the key to finding a bit of calm when everything feels chaotic. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like your mind is just a storm? Thoughts pulling you in a million different directions at once? If that sounds familiar, then you're definitely going to recognize the young guy at the heart of our story. So, let's meet Marco. He's just 24, but he is completely restless. His mind is always full, just this constant stream of thoughts, all day, every day. And it's leaving him feeling totally drained, just uneasy. This endless mental chatter was basically stealing all his peace. And here's the thing, his mind was like this constant tug of war. On one side, you have all this sadness and regret about the past, and on the other, all this worry and anxiety about the future. He was basically trapped between these two things, never, ever actually living in the present moment. And look, this wasn't just some small thing he could ignore. This mental storm was having a huge impact on his actual life. I mean, he was exhausted all the time. He couldn't find even a second of calm. His sleep was a mess, and maybe saddest of all, he'd pretty much forgotten how to even smile. So finally, he just hits a breaking point. Marco decides he has to do something about this. He starts hearing these rumors, whispers about a wise old man living up in the hills. Turns out he used to be a psychologist, but he left the city life behind for something simpler. And people said he knew how to help people find peace. And just that little bit of hope is enough. It becomes his guide. So Marco sets off on this really long, really tiring journey, but he's totally driven by this belief that maybe, just maybe, this man has the answer, the key to finally calming the storm inside his head. Okay, so after days of traveling, Marco finally makes it. He finds the wise man just sitting there peacefully on his porch. He pours his heart out, explains the whole problem, and the old man just listens with this calm smile. But instead of giving him some big speech or advice, he suggests, well, a pretty strange test. The instructions couldn't have been simpler, really. But the challenge? Oh, it was huge. The wise man hands Marco a glass of water, but it's filled right up to the very top, to the brim. And the task is this: walk all the way to the edge of the busy village and back, and you cannot spill a single drop. So Marco's like, okay, I'll do it. He takes the glass so carefully, his eyes are just locked onto the water. He starts walking slowly, deliberately, one careful step, then another. And in that moment, his entire world just shrinks down to that one little glass of water. And I mean, think about it. The village is buzzing with life. There are kids playing and yelling, dogs barking, shopkeepers calling out to people, everyone's walking and running around. Total chaos, right? But for Marco, it was like none of it was even there. He was completely oblivious. So he finally gets back, and he's so proud. He's practically beaming. He tells the wise man, I did it. I didn't spill even one drop. He thinks he's passed the test. But here's the thing. The test was never really about the water. And this is where we get to the heart of it all. The real lesson wasn't about carrying the glass. It was about everything Marco missed while he was so focused on carrying it. The wise man just looks at him and asks a really simple question. He says, tell me, while you were so focused on that glass, did you happen to see the children playing? Did you hear the dogs barking? Did you notice any of the life going on all around you? And Marco just stops. He's genuinely surprised. And he realizes, no, I didn't see or hear a thing. His focus was so complete, so absolute, that all that noise and chaos from the village, it just vanished. For that whole walk, it was just him and the glass. And that's when the wise man explains it. He tells Marco that what he just experienced was the incredible power of the present moment. Think about it. When your mind is 100% occupied with what you are doing right now, there's literally no space left for anything else. No room for fear, no room for confusion, no room for all those extra thoughts. And this leads to the biggest revelation of all. See, Marco came looking for peace like it was some treasure he had to find, some place he had to get to. But the wise man tells him, that's not how peace works. It's not something you find outside yourself. No, peace is already inside us. It's right here. It's just waiting for us to access it.
In fact, it's the mind's natural state when we stop letting it get yanked around by the past and the future. It's what happens when we anchor ourselves firmly right here in the present moment.
Okay, that's a great story, right? But what does it mean for us? How do we actually use this idea? I mean, how are you supposed to find your own glass of water when you're in the middle of a crazy workday or a really stressful week? Well, that glass of water, it's just a metaphor, right? It stands for anything you can give your complete, undivided attention to. It could be something as simple as focusing on your breath for just a minute, or maybe it's feeling your feet on the floor, or truly immersing yourself in one task at work, or even just getting lost in a piece of music. So I'll ask you directly, what is your glass of water? Next time you feel that mental storm starting to brew, what's that one simple thing you can choose to focus on so completely that everything else just fades into the background, even if it's just for a minute? Because in the end, peace isn't some destination you have to struggle to reach someday. It's a choice. It's something you can tap into right here, right now. So the real question is, the next time that chaos starts to creep in, where are you going to place your focus?